The oracle warned Tati to beware the temptation that came with her curse, for the mark was evil. They were not the only ones with interest in these words of power. Someone else was amassing a library of evil.
The way Rise of the Kasai is set up, it's sort of a prequel and a sequel. Rise of the Kasai can really stand on its own. You don't need to have played Mark of Cree to understand it or enjoy it.
We wanted to explain some of the origins of the Kasai and the Rakus, and to do that we really had to go back in time before the last game.
Rise of the Kasai is a strategic combat game that kind of allows itself to be more or less of either, depending on the player's interest.
Our approach has always been give the player a unique experience, and we'll use any tool in our arsenal to get that across.
The story definitely has its origins in classic literature and mythology. We're following Rao, who was the hero from the first game, and his little sister, who was an annoying 10-year-old in the last game, is now a 20-year-old warrior who's pissed off at the world. The animators had a lot of fun with Tati when they started developing her moves and her personality and the way she kills, whereas Rao is very noble, and to him, you know, the fight is honorable and he kills someone and they are dead and he moves on. Tati's much more like a cat playing with a mouse. One of the main conflicts running throughout the game's story is the relationship between Tati and the spell that she has on her back. The spell is absolutely evil, and it seeks to control Tati. It's trying to tempt her to join the Kasai. It does this through bribing her with subtle tastes of the power that it could ultimately give her. This power is manifested in different skills that she can use in the game. An important weapon that Tati has in her arsenal is a puffer mushroom. You place one against the wall, you go and hide, and you wait for an unsuspecting enemy to come walking past and they're dead. Grizz is a mysterious character. He wasn't in the Mark of Cree. He's new to Rise of the Kasai. We kind of refer to Grizz as having a very zen approach to combat.
Grizz suffers from the same problem that Tati suffers in the game, which is he's marked with this evil tattoo. He's been very successful in controlling it. He's actually mastered it. And he's been trying to teach Tati that and try to keep her on the good path. Bamusu is the most boisterous of the four. He's the big guy that just loves to fight, and he'll laugh while he's doing it, and he enjoys it. He is noble as Rao, but just gets a kick out of it.
We take a real dynamic approach to how we use our camera in combat. We free it from behind the player and spin it around the action, zooming it in and out of the action to really give a sense of combat and energy.
So if you walk into an environment in the game, the camera takes a very casual third-person view, and it's really allowing the player at that point to just kind of examine the scenario and see what's happening. The minute you do something like actually get into a fight, the camera begins to play a different role. It'll actually start rotating around the characters. The reasoning behind that was to get the player to feel like he's involved in the fight. So we're throwing you in.
Before we start a level, we try to figure out generally what the cultural flavor is going to be. We try to infuse a lot of different cultures into it, like Middle Eastern cultures and Asian cultures and Polynesian cultures, all kind of mixed up together in a kind of a cultural soup, so you really feel like you're traveling within this world.
It all blends together. They've done a really good job of putting you in the environment and making you feel like you're in a very living, breathing world.
For the music of Rise of the Kasai, we really wanted it to fit with the way we created the environments. I met a guy named Mr. Bang many years ago. He's from the mountains between Thailand and Mongolia. The composers were on hand to see how he does what he does so they can create a tool set to integrate into their sound. So all the elements we use are organic instruments. They may have a more modern, maybe even techno feel in some ways, but all done organically. This really allows us to integrate that into our spiritual elements and bring a more realistic and exciting cultural experience.
It's just like...
The one thing that unifies the group is their interest in art and in film. We have people that are from the video game industry that have been around for 15 years. And then we also have people from the animated feature film industry who have got a lot of experience in making movies. So the groups have kind of come together and found this common ground of what we think a game should look like.
We have a lot of very talented artists on our team who are all traditionally trained, so texture maps are all done by hand. That lends more to the organic sense about these levels. It's all just coming out of the mind of the artist and the talent of the artist.
They've got a great animation style that goes into the combat, and when you see it in action, it looks almost like a ballet. They've got a great sense of timing that they translate from the animation to the actual player, where you feel in combat you're almost dancing around, but you're dancing around in sort of a brutal, quick way.
We've likened ourselves to an independent film studio. We want to make things that are recognized for their artistic content and their depth.
We have two sets of cinematics. We have our in-game cinematics that tell the story with the actual characters and the environments in which the game kind of takes place. Then we have the bookend movies. These cinematics actually unveil more of the story before the actual game starts.
The whole style of these movies is a little bit more unique. It's almost like a living comic book, or, you know, if you were to see a Japanese print or a Chinese print sort of come to life, you know, sort of rice paper backgrounds and big black sumi brush and watercolor sort of thing.
We'll experiment a lot and try different techniques, different avenues, just to keep people entertained.